And Buddy, who's up there at the podium from the University of Wisconsin at Madison, was also one of the planning committee members for this event, which I want to thank everybody from ILAR and the Academy for helping put together. And he has the amazing task of summarizing this 2 days in about 7 minutes.
Okay. So I'd just like to review a little what we're about. ILAR, we want to facilitate ongoing discussion and informative exchange on topics of interest. And I think we did that over these 2 days. This is by far the biggest ILAR roundtable registration that we've had. Had a broad representation from across, many disciplines. And we haven't got all the numbers yet, but it's probably the largest web presence that we've had also, probably over 300 people. And I think we did what we planned to do, as you can see by these conversations that we've just had, and not just great presentations, but also great back and forth and questions. Also, as a veterinarian, I was very happy to hear in almost every presentation about the 3 R's. We talked a lot about animal welfare here, which is definitely our focus, and it made me very happy. So in this very short period of time, we had a great presentation about the trends and techniques in animal transgenesis at a level that a veterinarian can understand. A good overview of species-specific use from animals that have been used a lot in gene editing, zebrafish and rodents, all the way to non-human primates, where we still are just in a very formative stage with doing these techniques with primates. Heard a lot about somewhat unclear regulatory environment about who really is in charge of this, and to me, it brought up a lot more questions than I think answers. Talked a lot about ethical issues today. This will only increase. Several great case studies, the aqua salmon, the glowfish, the moths, and non-human primates also. And then finally covered again, interesting topics on the oversight and governance and what is going to happen with this gene editing, the techniques that we're developing. We had the advantage of following on the heels of the International Summit on Human Gene Editing, which was co-hosted by the National Academy of Sciences, the National Academy of Medicine, Chinese Academy of Science, and the Royal Society of the UK. And their first conclusion from that meeting was that we have to do intensive basic and preclinical research. It's clearly needed and it should proceed. And that's who we're going to be, the ones who do it. The PIs here, the industry representatives, the veterinarians, we're the ones who are involved in that basic and preclinical research. And it's obviously started. I'm excited that we're going to play a huge role in what happens next. If you do a Google search on CRISPR, I did one today, and there are 2,960,000 Google results about CRISPR. And if you dig deep into those, 50 results, 100 results, 200 results, it's all about CRISPR. It's not Rice Krispies. It's not, I've made a mistake on what I'm searching for. It's about companies that can offer you to help you do CRISPR. It's about, new publications. So there's a lot there. We're not quite as popular as Taylor Swift, about 100 times less popular, but I think we're on our way there. This is the 3-year-old that can do CRISPR, or it's us, and how young we are in our gene editing lives, and where we can go. If we go up, I'm excited about what happens if we go upward, because the things that we can do for both human medicine, for animals too, for animal welfare. I mean, it's boundless what can happen. If we fall, the problems with animal welfare with what could happen if things get introduced into the environment with eugenics. We have to be careful, but it seems like, you know, the sky here is limitless, and hopefully that's the direction we're headed. And finally, I'd like to thank everyone who put this together. First of all, Rhonda, Weiler, and Kent, who are the co-chairs for the meeting. David Kurtz, who gave our day one summation, and then Art for his introduction, and also, well, not your summation. And finally, also,
Summarizing by pointing out what I thought was worthwhile.
Yeah.
Notice I've said nothing.
And also, I'd like to thank Lita, of course, and Angela, and everybody who helped with the conference and who made it possible. Thank you.
Thank you. Actually, I did not think that there was nothing worthwhile to summarize, but in some ways, there's no point in trying to capture all of the useful things that were said. So I'm just going to thank the organizers of the meeting as well, and I want to thank staff. Lita, you're out there, and others who helped put this together. Wouldn't have happened. I think the timing was superb. I agree with Hank. In some ways, the discussions about how we're going to deal with animals, insects, and to some extent plants are going to drive gene editing and other genetic engineering issues forward much more than humans do in the short run. So this has been a very important 2 days. I think some of you may be of a mind to pass on comments or thoughts you may have, either from watching on the web or from being here. I guess email-wise, Lita, are you open to getting some of that sent to you if somebody wants to write you a email follow-up? It's on the webs. It's on there, so use that if you are inspired to some other thought or some recommendation about how to proceed. I have a feeling this may not be the last time we get to engage this issue here. Those who traveled from afar, I want to thank you very much for doing that, and I want to thank all of you for coming.